So, sources are telling CNN News 18 that a faction in Ajit Pawar camp-led NCP is of the opinion that Sunetra Pawar, the MP and wife of Ajit Pawar, should be made the national president of the party, since she is the Rajya Sabha MP and has a fair knowledge of the party's functioning. Now, the same faction is also of the opinion that the younger son, Jay Pawar of Ajit Pawar, should now contest the Baramati Bypolls and must be inducted in the current state cabinet. This is how family can still have complete hold over the party instead of some outsider ruling it. The merger talks may get delayed due to the demise of Ajit Pawar at the moment. But remember, today is when the last rites were also performed, and now focus has shifted in terms of what is going to be the future of the NCP Ajit Pawar faction. Let's quickly go across to Mayuresh Ganpati, who's joining me on the broadcast, as is Yesha Kotak, and also Aman Sharma joining me live from the newsroom. Let me quickly go across to Mayuresh. Mayuresh, first of all, what explains the delay in the talks as of now?
See, absolutely, we have to understand one thing, that there were talks which were happening and they were kept very secret, though we have seen a lot of time Mr. Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar meeting in a public function, but they have always denied such kind of a merger. But the sources within both the camps have somewhere revealed that there were talks which were happening for the of this particular merger. But now, after the demise of Ajit Pawar, it looks that this particular talk will be get delayed, because first the NCP, which was led by Ajit Pawar, needs to organize the entire structure, because right now they have lost their big leader, they have lost the face of the party. So once they have to sort out this first thing, and then only the talks of merger will happen. Because if the merger has to happen, both the parties should draw the conditions, that what exactly will the condition, and the main condition is that under whose leadership this particular merger will happen, and who will be leading the party. That needs to be sorted out, whether it will be again Sharad Pawar who will be leading the party or some other leader.
All right, let me quickly bring in Yesha. Yesha, the name doing the rounds as of now is that of Sunetra Pawar. Take us through the advantages which currently rest with Sunetra Pawar given her political experience. Also, who will now be the scion? What happens to the son?
Absolutely. In fact, amidst the talk of, making Sunetra Pawar the national president, we've also gotten to know from our source that Chhagan Bhujbal and they have gone ahead and met Sunetra Pawar after, the last rites took place of Ajit Pawar. Now, this comes in because clearly, in the next couple of days, we could possibly see some more meetings taking place, so as to ensure, so as to understand who could be the face. Clearly, as far as speculation are concerned, one would, it would like the possible names coming in is Sunetra Pawar and Jay Pawar, because clearly the party would want the party mandate to be in the hand of a Pawar. When it comes to Sunetra Pawar, clearly, when you weigh the pros and cons between Sunetra Pawar and Jay Pawar clearly has had so far has not really had any kind of a foray into politics. No experience so far. Of course, Sunetra Pawar, when we speak of her, though she contested the Lok Sabha elections, of course she's seen as someone who does not have too much experience, but with the fact that she has a Rajya Sabha, she's an MP from Rajya Sabha. In the last couple of months, we've seen her rigorously campaigning, meeting people in Baramati, be it during the Lok Sabha election, the Vidhan Sabha election, or for that matter, even now, amidst the Jilla Parishad and the municipal corporation elections. So that is something that comes to her advantage because of the experience. Of course, it is limited experience, but that comes in as an advantage to her. When it comes to Jay Pawar, of course, after both the NCPs split, what has been noticed is that both the sons, be it Parth Pawar or Jay Pawar, they were also seen campaigning for the NCP Ajit Pawar factions candidates. But so far, of course,
while so the Bypolls could certainly, in fact, prove very pivotal for Jay Pawar. Stay with me. I'm also joined in by Aman. Let me quickly go across to Aman, who will put this into the larger context as far as the big picture is concerned. Because Aman, there's of course the future of the NCP, which is hanging in balance. But will the merger have any kind of an impact now on the Mahayuti, and what happens to the Mahayuti, and is the ball finally in Sharad Pawar's court?
Well, see, Akanksha, if you see the assembly situation and from the elections 1.5 years back, the BJP is in a very comfortable position. Essentially, it doesn't need Ajit Pawar's party to remain in power. So that is one comforting factor, I would say, for the BJP. They were a bit worried when we saw Ajit Pawar and Sharad Pawar and Supriya Sule share the same stage in the Maharashtra civic elections, especially in Pune, where both the NCP factions contested together. But that is what BJP felt was the end of it, because they don't see the two factions coming together, especially now with Ajit Pawar's demise. It would be even more difficult because he was essentially the main face of the party. With him now gone, the merger, I think, has been put off on the back burner now. What I'm hearing also is what Mayuresh and Jesha had mentioning, that Sunetra Pawar could be forwarded as the new national president of the party and maybe even the deputy chief minister of Maharashtra in the place of Ajit Pawar, because she's the only one whom the party cadres, really see and trust, and see her as the heir of, in a way, the party after Mr. Ajit Pawar. Yes, she stepped into politics only in 2024 when she contested the Lok Sabha election of Baramati against Supriya Sule, and she lost. But she did give a lot of national and state, spotlight in those elections. Subsequently, she was chosen as a Rajya Sabha MP by the NDA. She's presently a Rajya Sabha MP as well. Her son Parth Pawar also fought an election in 2019, but since he lost that election, after that he's not been in any active politics and doesn't have the support of the cadre in a way that Sunetra Pawar could get. That is what I'm hearing. So in all probability, the party will be choosing Sunetra Pawar as their new leader, maybe even, as I said, the deputy chief minister of Maharashtra in the place of Ajit Pawar. And that seems to be the natural progression, because we've seen in smaller regional parties where dynasty reigns supreme. I think the Pawar family, especially Ajit Pawar's family, would want to keep the control of the party within the family. Of course, there is Mr. Praful Patel, there is Mr. Tatkare, there is other Chhagan Bhujbal, other loyalists also of Ajit Pawar. But I think for now, the family would want Sunetra Pawar to take the reins and step into Ajit Pawar's shoes.
Stay with me, Aman, Yesha and Mayuresh, because remember, the suspense is only growing over the fate of the NCP and what will happen next. So here are the possible scenarios. Let's break them down for you. The first scenario, to begin with, a merger could happen with Sharad Pawar's NCP SP. While a thaw was very much visible this during the recently held civic elections, Ajit Pawar, remember, too, had hinted at a merger earlier this month. But his untimely death may just speed up that proposal. The second scenario, let's look at that. It's, of course, of the wife, Sunetra Pawar. She could be leading the family succession. Sunetra Pawar could be pitched as the custodian of the Pawar legacy as far as Ajit Pawar's faction is concerned, with Parth Pawar as the continuity option, names now also swirling around Jay Pawar. This option would keep the faction intact. Now, as far as scenario number 3 is concerned, that's equally crucial. Why so? Because the fragmentation and defections in the absence of a central authority could also split the party forward. This, as MLAs may drift to NCP, SP or even BJP or the Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena faction. On that note, getting in some breaking inputs, this as we are learning that Chhagan Bhujbal and Praful Patel have met with Sunetra Pawar amid speculations about backing Sunetra Pawar for making her the national president. Just exactly what we had been discussing so far. And let's quickly take this forward with Yesha Kotak, who brings us those breaking inputs. Yesha, what is it that you are learning from your sources within the party in terms of what transpired at that meeting?
Absolutely. In fact, as you've rightly spoken about, there could be 3 possibilities, that could one see further. Now here, clearly, with Ajit Pawar no longer with us, so which is where now the NCP would in fact have to look at a person who could further lead Baramati. What's important is that when it comes to Baramatikars, they've always seen as Sharad Pawar who could represent them at the center, which is where they would obviously appoint Supriya Sule, but they would always entrust the state responsibility with Ajit Pawar, and that has clearly been the mandate even when both the NCP factions split, and that has been the mandate for Baramatikars throughout. Now, whom they trust the responsibility is also yet to be decided. But on the other hand, of course, the party would want Pawar to lead them. When it comes to both the sons of Ajit Pawar, be it Parth Pawar or for that matter Jay Pawar, clearly none of them have had the kind of foray in politics as compared to Sunetra Pawar. So, that is one speculation that of course goes round. And when these two top leaders who have in fact been close aides with Ajit Pawar for a very long time. They've held this meeting. It was also to be discussed the political future of the party. While on the other hand, when you speak of the speculation that Sunetra Pawar would want to could possibly be the national head, let's recollect this conversation that Ajit Pawar had with us, just before Vidhan Sabha elections. This was right when Sunetra Pawar and Supriya Sule had contested against each other in Lok Sabha. But Ajit Pawar at that point of time went on to state that his promise to Baramatikers is that he would not want the family to be split, and that was the conversation
that's a
that
very
Ajit Pawar
critical
had
point
in fact
that
set
you
up us,
have just now
post
made,
Vidhan
which
Sabha
I also
election.
want to take forward with Mayuresh at the moment. Mayuresh, as Yash has highlighted, that even Ajit Pawar never wanted this rift to deepen further, which is why he was also considering that merger. And right now, with his passing, perhaps not just for Sunetra Pawar, but also for Chhagan Bhujbal or even Praful Patel, the priority is to keep the flock together.
Absolutely, because see, they have basically of this opinion that once someone takes the charge of the party, then only the flock will keep together. Because right now, many people who had joined Ajit Pawar faction and who were with Ajit Pawar, they are thinking that what is their future. And in such scenario, we have seen that the local leaders have taken the extreme decisions depending on the local scenario. So many people have deflected, and after that they joined some different parties. So if the NCP, especially Ajit Pawar faction, wants to keep the flock together, they have to take a decision. They have to show that yes, the party has a leadership and the leadership is well within the family. Then only the people will stay together. Or else, if the leadership goes to someone else, then there are high chances that the deflection may happen within the party and the party leaders may join some other camp.
All right, stay with me. In fact, getting in breaking inputs. This is, in fact, with regards to the faction within the Ajit Pawar faction.